Okay, so this week I decided to focus a lot of my time in training to working on my aerial control. As much as I'd like to think that I have really good control, there is always room to improve. So I created a small training routine for myself that should force me to get out of my comfort zone and struggle a fair bit. Before I go into anything, I just want to say a big thank you for all the support on the last video. Welcome to all the new subs, and to those of you who watch my content and haven't subbed yet, which is 91.2% of you guys, please know that I answer almost every single comment and post weekly educational content. So if that sounds like something you'd enjoy, feel free to subscribe to the channel and join the team. Oh, and there's one more thing. Before we carry on, I want to give a big shout out to our first sponsor on the channel. Now, if you guys have been watching Rocket League content at any point in the last year or so, you will have seen many people talking about Raid Shadow Legends. For those of you who don't know, this game is an incredibly popular MMORPG game, and as well as its beautiful design, it's free. It's free, guys. This game is one of the only games I have on my phone because its graphics are really good and it's got a really cool storyline to follow along with. Another thing that drew me into Raid Shadow Legends was it's a strategy-based game. I'm someone who really loves games where you can collect loot and customize characters to fit the next battle, and this game has a huge variety of characters and items to collect along the way. So here I am at the portal screen where you can open up these shards to get new characters. I'll open one up now and we'll see who we can get. So we are getting Hyria. Hyria 6, so then we can head down to the index, find out what kind of character there are, and start building our team. I believe she is an elf. Yep, there we go. You can then use this team to take on the campaign, but also the game has dungeons you can take on and defeat to upgrade your champions. It has an arena you can use to fight your friends. It has a thing called clan bosses where you can team up and fight a boss with your friends. Trust me, this game... If you want to play with me, you can add me on Thanovic YT, and if you aren't a fan of mobile games, it's actually also on PC. And you can switch between the two without ever losing any progress. If you want to download the game, make sure you click the link in the description because you start off with 100,000 silver and champion named Slasher. All of this will be waiting for you here, but you do only have 30 days to get these rewards. So go and get in the game, go and add me, and I hope to see all of you guys in the arena. So here's a breakdown of the video for you. I'll give you the routine and how long I spent on each segment so you can try it for yourself. Then I'll go into detail about some of the aspects of the training, why I chose them, and why they're important to include. Then to finish up, I'll show you some clips that I think best highlight the outcome of the training. To start my routine, I would go into free play and start with something nice and easy. It is also something that has been recommended by other YouTubers before. I go from goal to goal, constantly air rolling and trying to hit the crossbar. Just back and forth over and over again, maybe about 5 or 6 times to get myself warmed up. From here, I'd put myself in tougher situations by essentially holding down boost and keeping my car spinning in the air. If I got to a wall or the ceiling, I would immediately jump off and carry on. I'll explain the reasoning behind all of this later. I do this part for about 10 minutes, and then to finish off the free play portion of the training, I try hitting the ball as hard as I could and then going up as fast as I could to meet it off the rebound. Granted, this is a little harder for some people, but has some huge benefits once you can get it down. I would then do this for another 10 minutes. After the free play segment of the training was finished, I would then move on to custom training. Here, I'd pick up this redirect training pack and make my way through it. While you can pick up any training pack, I use this one because of the amount of shots and variety it gives. An important thing to note when doing your training packs is to not go easy on yourself. Remember that you're trying to work on your control, and the best way to do that is to push yourself. Once I finished the redirect training pack, I would move on to the freestyle training pack and make my way through that as well. This rounds up the custom training segment. Lastly, I moved on to workshop maps, and I am really sorry to those of you on console who can't do these, but I do suggest a way around it at the end of the video. But to those of you on PC, I start off with Jump Speed Rings 2 and work around that course. Then I'd switch to Speed Jump Trials 1, then Speed Jump 2, and then I'd finish it up with Obstacle Course 1. This would finish off my training routine. Now on to how they help and why you should do them. If you're just starting to learn aerial control, I suggest really working on the first drill where you go between 2 goals trying to hit the crossbar, all while rotating your car in the air. You can make it harder for yourself by flying out to the side first and then trying to realign your car. This was something I used to do all the time when I was first learning aerial control, as it's a good way to understand the different ways you need to turn your car to stay on track. Of course, I can't explain to you exactly how you need to move because it is all situational, and so spending a lot of time working through this specific drill will give you a great set of fundamental movements to build off of. Next is the drill where you try to just keep yourself spinning and moving in the air. I chose this because it focuses on multiple things at once. Of course you're working on your control and keeping your car from falling, but it also works on your speed and recoveries. When you find yourself heading towards a wall, you have to quickly realign your car so you get a clean landing and can easily take off again. This is really useful for when you get bumped in game or have gone up for an aerial, because you'll be able to recover faster with an easier time getting back from the landing. Another thing I added into this drill was using my second jump to flip in a random direction and then trying to stabilize my car. This can get tricky because it forces you to quickly identify the position of the car and adjust to fix it. I suggest, however, throwing it in every now and then to try and make it a bit harder for yourself. Next up is the custom training segment. This part should be fairly straightforward. I put myself in situations where I only had a few seconds to react and position my car in order to score. Redirect training packs were one of the ways I first learned how to control my car in the air, and I've been using them ever since. If you're still just learning the basics, then don't worry too much about adding all the spins and different movements in, and just focus on hitting the ball accurately. If, however, you are experienced with air control and would like to further your control, I would urge you to try and keep yourself rotating and hitting the ball with power. There honestly isn't too much to say when it comes to custom training packs. I picked redirects to pressure myself into quick decisions, and I chose freestyle training packs to give me more time before the shot to spin around in the air before adjusting my car to score. Simple but effective. If you're not training with workshop maps, you need to start now. Not only do I believe they are the easiest way to increase your aerial control, but they're also the most fun. I started with the rings map, which progresses from easy to hard, causing you to make faster adjustments the further through the course you go. I did almost all of my workshop maps without worrying about how fast I completed it, because I wanted to focus on actually making my movements better instead of just beating the course for the sake of beating it. I really enjoy using the rings map, as you have to be precise while also having a little bit of room for adjustments. This is why I started with rings instead of one of the ones that focuses on absolute precision. Moving on to the next course, which was Speed Jump Trials 1. This is the one workshop map where I would focus on time. I've never really been good at this course, and I've never really put time into finishing it, so unfortunately my time was shocking at the start. I used this course as a way to track progress over the course of the week to see if I could shave off any amount of time. The course is one that I will be using every day from now on, and you'll see why once I show you the results. After this, I moved into Speed Jump 2, which once again gives you a lot of room to adjust for your movements, like in the rings map. But as you progress further into the course, your room for error gets smaller and smaller. This once again works on your minute touches and forces you to regain control of your car in some really difficult situations. There are also a few moments where you have to take gravity into play, as the map essentially starts turning in on itself. Lastly, I would finish the whole training routine with Obstacle Course 1. I would only really focus on the third part of the map, however. All you have to do in this section here is to make it down a long corridor that is turning to the left. Seems simple enough. If you try this while rotating your car the entire time, you'll discover it's a bit harder than you thought. This has been mentioned by many YouTubers before, and is something I've been trying every now and then for a while. It's something you can kind of do without really thinking about it, and over time you'll build up the muscle memory to start making less mistakes. Many people refer to the concept called blackout moments, where you completely mess up your control or go the wrong way and end up falling to the ground. I find this to be a good way to build up control to try push past those moments and figure out how you need to be adjusting to keep control of your car. I tend to do this one part of the course for about 10 minutes. So, did I improve? Well, here is one of my free play sessions from the end of the week. As you can see, my speed has improved and my ability to align my car on the wall properly has gotten much better as well. I have kind of caught myself zoning out sometimes and going on autopilot while doing this exercise, which isn't the best for when you're trying to improve something. However, it does show that my muscle memory is at the point where I don't have to think too much to keep myself in control. This is by far one of my favorite exercises because even if you're just starting and finding yourself boosting into the ground over and over, you can still use it as a way to learn to land on your wheels and recover faster. Custom training is a difficult one to show whether I've improved or not. While I would say that I have, the fact that I do each shot a few times and try to place the ball in different parts of the net means that I can't really put a number of completed shots next to my progress. I found myself at the end of the week being much more comfortable in the air and challenging myself to try air roll differently each time to get a different shot. I can see clear improvements in my control and I'm finding it easier to get creative with my shots. Where I used to focus on accuracy and power, I can now include creativity and unpredictability. If one of these shots were to come up in a game, they'd be hard to defend in the first place. but now I feel I can position myself to the point where my touch is harder to read and therefore harder to defend. It's a difficult thing to explain, but my touches feel consistently more powerful and better placed. Onto workshop. Wow, the improvement here was pretty crazy. Rings felt very smooth and I felt like I could just kind of relax and still feel like I was in control of my car 90% of the time. I actually started to implement the tornado spin mechanic a lot more into my movement, and now I feel like I have a whole new set of movements to include in my game. I always used to tornado spin one way, but after playing around and trying out both movements, I feel really comfortable with my movement in the air. Next was the timed course. At the start of the week, I came in with a time above 3 minutes. This is really poor, I'll admit that. But by the end of the week, I was hoping to drop that number to 3 minutes or less. Here is my end result. My time dropped down significantly, and I know a few of you might still be thinking, well, that isn't even that fast, but when you compare the two, you can see just how much I've improved. Obviously, I can still do this way faster and I'm aiming to, but I'll be doing this every day just to see how much better I can get. At the moment though, I am really happy with this result. Speed Jump 2 really challenged me to work on my fine adjustments, and I probably spent the most time on this map and had the most difficulty with it. I think it is a huge factor as to why my control has improved, as some of the harder levels really had me going over them like 10 or 11 times every day. This course was challenging and took a lot of thought and focus, so I can tell that the level of control needed to go through this level on muscle memory alone is a level I've not yet reached. This map is one I'll be doing every day to try and achieve that level. And finally, the corridor and obstacle course 1. I really like this level. I can go through and watch a video in the background while just fine-tuning my adjustments to learn when a movement is just the slightest bit too much to the point that I lose control. It really helped me to implement tornado spins into my control and gave me a nice relaxed way to end my training sessions while also letting me get a bit creative with my rotations. So, did it help? Yes. I would absolutely say this helped, and I suggest you all go try out this routine. If you are on console, you can substitute the workshop maps for the map pillars and make your way around the pillars using different techniques to adjust your car. I suggest in this case you don't go easy on yourself and you try to keep yourself spinning in some way at all times. If you don't have time to do this every day, then I would say maybe twice a week, and over the course of a month, keep track of your progress to see how you've improved. I'm really happy with how this turned out, and I hope the training course can do the same for you. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to leave a like because it really does help the video and the channel out a ton. If you want to see more of my content, make sure to subscribe so you can stay up to date with educational content that I post weekly. Lastly, if you'd like to see any more of these training routine videos where I put together and break down a routine, let me know in the comment section, and also let me know what kind of routine you would like to see next. Anyway, that's all from me. I'll see you next time.